I went to one of the Middle Eastern stores in the city and I found these pinto beans, which happen to be one of my favorite. They're great for making frijoles charros, which will translate something like cowboy beans. They're one of my favorite dishes and I decided to show you how to make them. For making beans, first of all, we need to soak them. Some people do it for 24 hours. I think one night before is enough. I'm gonna put them into water. I'm using about 2 cups of them. It doesn't have to be really precise. That's what I usually cook. It's around half a kilo. And it fits perfectly on the pot I have. That's why I use that measure. So we're just putting them into water. It will help the beans cook faster. It will make them soft. It will also help us get rid of this property they have that makes us feel bloated and makes it very heavy. And I'm gonna use a bit of baking soda, just a small teaspoon, because a lot of people use it because they say it accelerates the process. Some people say it doesn't really help much. I think it helps a bit and you still lose nothing for using it, so I'm gonna still just put one of those. We're gonna mix it and we're gonna leave it there. I usually leave them on the kitchen counter and we can come back tomorrow and cook them. You will notice the water has changed color and beans are hydrated now, so they will look a bit bigger. And now I'm gonna use this strainer to just put them there, open the tap and rinse them for a while. I'm gonna make sure all the baking soda we used is gone. I'll just open it and move them for a while. Now I was rinsing them for maybe a couple minutes and they're ready, so we'll throw them into a pot. I'm gonna put this pot maybe in medium fire, maybe number 3 or 4 out of 6. So I'll just throw them in. And beans will take a while. It will probably take a couple hours. You just have to be paying attention, checking them every now and then. The beans will be boiling for about 2 hours, so we have to make sure water doesn't run out. I'm gonna throw in a bit more just to be sure. I'm gonna add half an onion, 1/4 of an onion, depending on the size. Cover it and we'll leave it there for a while. So our beans have been boiling now for a while. I'm gonna check on them. And sometimes you get this foam and it's perfectly normal. Some beans have more, some beans have less than that. These are not so bad, but still you can take them off with a spoon. It doesn't affect in any way, but you'll see in some cases, especially when cooking black beans, the foam sometimes gets very thick. So it's very easy to just remove it like that. We'll leave them boil for a while, and I have here the other ingredients we're gonna use. I'm gonna use onion. I'm gonna use a bit of coriander, just fresh coriander. I found these sausages. You can use any kind of sausage you want, but I found these very spiced up sausages. It will be very good. It will give a lot of flavor. I have some normal bacon. I have some tomato and this Spanish chorizo. If you find a bit of a fresher one, it's good. This will give also a lot of flavor. What I did is chop everything and I divided it into plates because we're gonna use it at different times. We're gonna have all the meat, then we're gonna have onion and tomato. We will add those later, and at the end we will add the coriander. So now our beans are ready, and the only way to know they're ready is by tasting them. But you can also grab 1 or 2 beans and try to smash it with a spoon. When they're ready, they're gonna be really soft, and it's very easy to smash them. So Now we can put them a bit away from the fire, or you can put it just in a very low fire on the back. Now we're gonna cook everything else, and this is what will give all the flavors to our beans. And I have this pan again in medium low fire, maybe a 2 or a 3 out of 6. I just add a bit of oil, and I will take the plate with all the meats and just throw it in there. These take a bit longer to cook, and I like to cook them on a low fire so we can get all the flavors out of them. You will see that there's gonna be a lot of oil when they're cooking. The bacon has a lot of this grease. Chorizo will drop a lot of flavor. The sausage is the same. And once they're ready, they're a bit crispy. You can see here all the colors. And now they are almost ready, so we can take the onion and the tomato and throw them in there. These take a bit less to cook, that's why we put them later. And we're gonna stir them and try to mix them a bit. We want to cook them until, again, the tomato will drop a lot of its water, the onion will turn into this see-through, nicely cooked. Here we can see now it's ready. This has a lot of flavor, it smells amazing, it tastes beautifully. There's so many spices, so much textures. And we'll just take this pan and throw it into our beans. We don't want to drop anything. We have all the oil on the bottom, we have the meat, we have the tomato, we have the onion. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't added any salt, because at least these sausages, the bacon, the chorizo are very salty. So I like to mix them a bit, and then I can add some salt and just let the beans boil for a while after that. But look at those colors. I can tell you it smells great. It's like my mouth is watering just while I'm doing this. I'll add a bit more water so I can boil them for a bit longer. These corrections of how much water, you can do them yourself. It depends if you like them more thick or you like them more watery, like a soup. And now we add a bit of the coriander, fresh coriander. It gives a lot of flavor. It's a really nice freshness into it. And I'm also adding some salt right now, because we will leave these boil for a while. In Mexico, this is something you do usually when you're grilling some meat and have it as a side dish, but it's very heavy. You can serve it as a main dish. It works amazing. You have everything. You have meat, you have the beans. It's very rich, a lot of texture, flavor. It's a heavy meal, but it's one of my favorites. Now it has boiled for a while. It was 10-15 minutes. I like it to be a bit thick, so you can wait for it to reduce a bit, and we can serve now. Now, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but these look amazing. They smell even better. These are just the perfect meal. And they bring me back to grilling at my parents' place, you know, in the garden, having beer, some friends. So if you like the video, subscribe, press like, try it at home. If you have any questions, write them down in the comments, and see you in the next one.